of the reasons why I'm starting it now and decided not to wait until all the way around 6 p.m. As you know, I've been doing my lives at different times here lately, trying to just go with the flow and go with my schedule as it gets a little busy here. Um, but I have an opportunity right now. Julie went with our son to physical therapy. I've got the girls here with me at the house, so I wasn't able to go. So I figured I would take advantage of this and do a live right now. So there's a few things of or areas of topics or concerns that I want to go over. First, the fact that XRP didn't get over 50 cents could be a problem here. And it could either show us that we need to come down and try to double bottom the area in a more profound way instead of just a shorter time frame, that we could come back down and double bottom. We'll look at the areas. But first things first, if we want to continue this push up, we have to get past 50 cents. We'll go over some talking points as well that I find very interesting. Kryptonian, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. I greatly appreciate that. And if I don't get a lot of back and forth in the audience, I'll just do this at a standard update. But if we do get some back and forth, I'll continue this going as a normal live. I'm burning up that dry powder today. Yes, sir, Kryptonian. Rockin' XRP, Painter, you, Phil, and Wales, Josie Wales, thank you, all three of you, for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Fletcher, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XP 589 Moon Badge. Doc, you mine, and Brad Liebenberger, thank you both so much for being in your first month in Tom's Army with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Love it. Mark, welcome in, Mr. Caston, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months plus with the XP Meteor. He says afternoon live. Or afternoon, Tom. Good afternoon, Mark. Yes, sir. Lee, welcome in, and good afternoon to you as well. John Hall, welcome. And my brother, good afternoon to you as well. You are welcome. Simon, welcome in, and thanks for continuing in Tom's Army for 3 months plus, along with John Bugathorpe with the emoji badge, the XRP Meteor emoji badge. Appreciate that from both of you. John says, hi, Tom, holding steady. Almost hit your price on Gala. Do we still think 13 cents soon? I never said it was soon, my friend. In time, it could run up to those areas. It's going to take some time, though. Soon for some is not going to be soon for others. But yeah, it's almost come down to that just under a penny target that I've been waiting for. It's bounced back some now, but we're going to look at the markets as a whole to see, is that implosion done or is there more to go? We've also got a few different things we're going to watch today together as we get going here. As I've got 2 different points here that 2 people are making when it comes to the stock market. So, well, I want to watch this. We're not going to do this yet, but we'll watch that. And then we will also watch how on CNBC they had them out calling for a 75 basis point rate cut this month, and then another 75 basis point rate cut next month. Then we'll watch about the unfolding, what's going on with the possibilities of the fake cut or the rate cut, but the unlikely scenario that they probably will. This is on their opinion. So we're going to look at 2 contracting points here, and we're going to see what we think. So this we don't need to look at, but this is what's going on because there's a growing call for the Fed to do an emergency rate cut. As we predicted here after they did not cut rates, we said that there's going to be something that happens. It looked like we were about to collapse, and we did. And now that'll be the reason why they call for the growing rate cuts. The stock market's down almost 1,100 points right now in the Dow. And the NASDAQ and the Russell 2000 are equally getting hammered. Gold's down about $36, faring pretty well. B2 Gold got hit, down 3.68%. But that doesn't even tell the story. You can add on another 7% from $3 where we just told you to sell out on Friday. So there's an opportunity there as well. But the total crypto market cap is down. Hey, Doc, thank you for not only being in Tom's Army for over for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens, but also sends a $2.50 donation. How incredibly generous. Thank you so much for that. Certainly don't expect donations or anybody joining Tom's Army on days like today. Not that the dedication isn't there, but the charts are going down. Kyle, welcome in. Avi, good afternoon. Stephanus, welcome in. You are welcome, Documine. Tom, thanks a ton. Made some bucks with your analysis. Oh, I appreciate that. And thank you for paying it forward by being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. That is my face superimposed on that emoji badge. I know somebody made a hell of a purchase earlier. They were going to buy yesterday in the low to mid 50s. And they waited, and they ended up scooping up around 43, and they ended up, I don't know if they sold it when it got to 49, but they made a quick reversal. Very nice to see that in the comments earlier. Rob Hokaluk, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. Please, everybody, make sure to hit that like button as you come in. I'm overwhelmed with how many people are here already. The Gatman, one more drop coming before sunny days. It is very, very possible. Very, very possible, the Gatman. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for well over 2 years as you approach the 3-year mark with that XRP 589 Moon badge, sneaking up on the XRP Diamond Hands badge, the most exclusive badge we have. Devin, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over a year with the I Told You So badge, and also a trusted mod. I appreciate that. Maul, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. I remember like it was yesterday when you joined for your first month. Wow, it's been a long time already. Time does fly, doesn't it? Donald, hello, Tom. Well, lost $12,000. Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear that, Donald. This is the problem with when we buy in, if the market's already starting to go through a cycle. It's also, I have a very distinct rule here. I always tell everybody, don't buy XRP if it's over 50 cents, but preferably get it sub 40 if you can. So it's obviously sub 50 cents now, so it's come back into that classification. But like looking around the market, it's a shit show. I'm just glad yesterday we were able to make 4.8% on that Ethereum long before I ended up getting rid of it. And then you guys seen what happened right after I sold it. I bought it as it had that first drop. Went up, I sold out for 4.8%. And our copy trading right now, we're up 133+%. We started our $100 challenge. We're up to PNL's up over 133 now. So if you're interested in copy trading, video description below, there's HOTCOIN. Make sure you take a look. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Just referring to your comments in April that it would explode, and we'd say, why didn't we buy at 5 cents? No, I did not say why didn't we buy at 5 cents, because I said it was going down to 0.009 and I would not buy until 0.009. We don't know when it's going to 13%, John, or 13 cents. I understand we talked about the possibility, but I've talked about for a long time that I would not buy Gala until it came to 0.009. So, and I've had that long-standing target for longer than I can even remember. Longer than I can even remember. And the reason why it was a long-standing target is because I wanted to buy potentially my first purchase down here at 0.009. Now it's about 1 cent, but that's been a long-standing target. Yeah, in time, can we start coming back up? We sure can, but where's the actual proper buy-in spot? That's the problem. We don't know where the floor is at. I do believe in time, and when I say in time, that could take until 2028 for all we know, but I believe it probably will come back up. Do we know for sure? No. But that's why I targeted down at the bottom of this formation. I didn't know, we've had the evidence here of resistance, support. We didn't know if it was going to come back down, but if I'm taking a shot at something, I like to see it come down to that support structure. Right now it's getting obliterated, no doubt about it. But in time, can it come up there? I firmly believe it can. It's just, the problem with crypto right now is we're so far away from 28 when we don't have, or when everybody has to get off the old Swift HTML for bank transfers and institutional transfer and things like that. That doesn't fully get implemented until 28. So my whole, it might be for me, it might seem sooner than some. Some, when they say short-term targets, they're talking about a week or a month or 6 months. I've always talked about the year 2028 is when we can first hope for that big explosion that we're looking for in crypto. 24 was the year of the bear market rally, and 25 can lead us to a sense of flipping out of the bearish sentiment, and we can flip into more of a bullish tone. But that's probably not going to be until the end or the third quarter or somewhere around there in 25. So right now we've gone through everything, that bear market rally, and now it's just imploding. This is the biggest fear with the markets. There's no resolution to the XRP Ripple case. There's no real reason for anybody to be buying into crypto right now. The ETFs, at first it seems like a good idea. And we knew Ethereum was going to crash like Bitcoin did after its ETF. So that's another target that we try to hone in on as it gets to where it goes. But I'm not even convinced right now that we've hit our lowest of lows. Right now, Bitcoin did come down to 48. It came within 500 points of our target. Let's just put it that way. From 48,284, it came within... It went to 48,981, so it was like within 700 points. And you're talking about that's a far drop down from 69K though. And let me get rid of some of the noise in between, because now it's not as relevant. Now that we fell through some of the areas, we don't need to just see the support resistance of this actual pattern. It's just a confusing extra little... So now when you look at it, we came from resistance all the way down to the support structure. And once we broke through that support structure, it dropped us to 48,284. That was our biggest fear, that we couldn't hold. And it's not even that it broke down bearish yet. That's the thing. Like, look at this. We still have what looks like a cup. It looks like a cup is formed, and now it's putting in the handle. As I've stated and I've stated many times in the past, and I will in the future, if we lose 48,200, it's probably over. Because then we might have to come all the way down to 30,000. And like, if we have to come all the way down there, the reason I say it's probably over is because if you look at this, we're in this rising channel. We fell out of this rising channel and created a big cup. Now, if this were to break down and we just lost all of this, just look at the implication here. By losing this rising channel, and I'm not trying to blow smoke. I'm not trying to make everybody afraid. I'm not trying to make you exit crypto. I'm not trying to make you never trade again. But I always tell the truth, whether it's going up or down. I don't care how it makes me sound. I don't care who continues following. As long as I know I'm telling what I need to tell, the rest will find its place. Right now, the technical target, out of that big rising channel, if it breaks down and this cup and handle reverses instead of breaking up, is down at 17,580. So let me ask you a question. If this did break down and this handle wasn't bullish, because it very well still can be, I'm just saying, in devil's advocate here, if it breaks down, now instead of going up to those massive targets, you would now have to come down in the same manner that you were going to go up. So now that the ETFs are selling out, what do you think happens here? Well, when the ETFs sell out, unlike when they sell out the actual Bitcoin on the exchanges where they can give you USDT tether, when you sell out of an ETF, that's real money coming out. Real money. So just consider that. If you think you've seen anything yet, we may have not even seen the start of what could come. That's the problem here. The biggest problem here is that, wow, I didn't mean to put that up there, I'm sorry. But that's the biggest problem here. We just don't know where this ending point is, but we're going to find out together. Make sure to hit that like button, as only 48% of my audience has hit that like button so far, but I'm going to give you every reason why to hit that like button during this live. I'll catch you on the other side of the intro. Good evening, or good afternoon, 3:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, August 5th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Uncle Phil, welcome in. Uncle Philly, good evening to you. Sean Crothers, welcome in, both very trusted mods. Louisville, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XP 589 Moon Badge, I believe that said. Someone asked, how do you copy trade? Video description below. Join me through HOTCOIN. Deposit your money in the futures and follow XRP Future MIL. You'll see it. Mine's the one that I don't know what it's going to say, but it's plus $133 in PNL. There's only one person with XRP in their name. So once you type in XRP, mine's going to come up. And if you're looking to trade crypto, you know, join, in my opinion, the next frontier of crypto. I mean, I'm being honest. Whether it's BITUNIX or HOTCOIN, you decide. Both of them have no VPN or KYC worldwide. They both offer XRP. HOTCOIN has the XRP Bitcoin pairing, and you can copy trade me on HOTCOIN. BITUNIX has slightly lower leverage trading fees on some of the more speculative ones outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP. The ones that have smaller trading volume, you get lower liquidity pools, which is better. You don't have, or you have a lower differential between the buy-in fees. So it's a little more user-friendly on BITUNIX if you're trying to look for more volatility with less fees. But overall, from spot, they're both identical. And I would honestly take advantage of it. Now, you take the choice. They're both of the ones I trade on that I trust. So you take the decision. You can join either one of them. And they're both in the video description below. There's also a way if you want to join Tom's Army, which I would highly encourage you all to join Tom's Army. But beyond that, that's how you can get to trading, even if you want to do spot or leverage. Just be careful. The copy trading, we started with a $100 challenge. We've had up, down, left, and rights, punch in the face, kicked in the nuts. You know, but right now we're up 133% on our $100 challenge. Our biggest loss was $46 in a single trade. Our biggest win was $108 in a single trade. And we've had anything in between. So right now, though, cumulatively, our $100 challenge, we sit just over $233. So you do the math, we're up 133%. But you would have had to follow it from the beginning to the end. So if you were somewhere in between, you could have got hammered. Especially, well, if you followed and you didn't cut bait, you'd be in good shape right now. If you didn't cut bait when I suspended the copy trading until I could figure out the liquidity pools, because it hammered me when I traded ADA. There was a 11.1% differential when I made the 10x trade, which is a 1.1% system differential on the leverage to spot, and then the actual trading to the actual buy-in. So you got to make sure you have that problem solved. So I went through the liquidity issues. I talked to customer service for over 2 weeks until I got my proper resolution, and now we're back to the copy trading. But expect to lose if you're following me. That's all I ever say. Expect to lose. So what? It says we're up $133. Expect to lose. XRP right now, 47.4 cents. And for everybody who doesn't know, it's very important for us to go over this. And then we got to go, we're gonna transition here a little bit after we look at the XRP charts, and we're gonna go look for the calls, the growing calls for the Fed to cut rates here in September, or in July. And then another one for September. So we're going to start to see these growing calls, and it's very interesting what's transpiring here. And I mean interesting. So we're definitely going to take a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We're definitely going to take a look at that. So XRP 331 was resistance 1 on January of 2018. Support 1 was 10.8 cents, March of 2020. It took 27 months to hit the floor. Support 2 was right around January, what was this? January of 21 at 18.2 cents. Is support 2, resistance 2 at $1.98 in April of 21. Support 3 right here at about January of 23. Notice a lot of supports in January where we hit the floor at 30 cents was support 3. Then we've got resistance 3 in March of 2024 at 74.8. We've got support 4. Let me get rid of these because I don't really care the technical targets. We know what that shows. We've got other charts as well that show the in-between. But then we hit 40.2 cents here in July, which was support 4, resistance 4 in July, and unfortunately resistance 5 in August. So we've technically hit 5 resistance now and 4 technical supports, if you want to look at it that way. So that's devastating. And now that we've reversed back down, the weekly looks brutal. Can we hold 40.8 if it comes down there? Only time will tell. We're going to end up pushing. Look how quickly we tried to reverse. But look how the lack of volume is probably going to do us in the short term. There is no volume that, with that big of a sell-off, and yeah, there's some volume, but with that big of a sell-off, and there's trading volume coming in. The trading volume's up 223%. It's not the volume we're looking for. You see that green compared to red? Red sell volume, 8 million in the 3-hourly. Then when we have our first push up, 3.245. That's not going to get it done. That's less than half of the push down volume. It really is. So it's going to be interesting with XRP. So that's where we're at right now. 40.8 cents is the underneath support. But we do have our cup and handle. And here's the other reason why I'm not sure if we're done yet. Because honestly, it's telling us too much here. I feel like we had such a big drop. Are we going to be able to make this our reversal? Who knows? But technically, it called for a breakdown here to 22.6 billion here. If you just look at the XRP market cap, if you look at the support and the structure, there's one support here at right around 22.4 billion. And then there's a second support if we were to fall through. And that pattern is all the way down near 16. No, we'll put it over here. 16.5 billion. So there's a lot underneath, and that looks like a head and shoulders. That W reversal that we had right here, has it been invalidated? Technically, no. But I mean, it's awfully close, and with that lack, it's tough. It's tough. That's all I'm gonna say is it's tough. So we'll see what happens here in the next candle, the next couple candles. XRP, though, if you're looking to get on the... What's going on here? If you're looking to get to the positive side of town, we really do... Let me try to do something. There we go. We definitely need to get to over 50 cents if you're looking to be comfortable here. We need to get back over 50, and ultimately, even 50 cents, you might not feel all too comfortable. We've got our resistance up here on this formation is up at about 70 cents now if you go all the way to the top. We drop down to that 4. I feel like something's missing here. Absolutely. I was going to say something is absolutely missing here. Okay, so if we go like this and we do it how we did it. Because we've had resistance. You could come through. But I wonder if it'd be more advantageous to do this. I kind of think it would be. Since we've got the evidence, there's no reason to shortchange it. But I think it would be interesting to do it the other way, actually. Let's see the 4-hourly. Nah, no reason. Let's not FUD it up. Let's just give it what it gives us. No reason to look past what we have to and look past what the charts are giving us. I mean, they're giving us everything we need to know right now. There we go. So it went from resistance to support is basically what happened. So we'll move this. We got a rejection right there at 65.9 cents. And then we came right back down to support at 42.9. Now, if we expand this out a little bit, we have our cup and handle formation with the falling channel and rising channel simultaneously. So follow along. You've got the cup and handle. You see the rising channel. We needed to stay above 60.85 cents, not to come back below the rising channel. We came back below it, and it set off a doomsday style drop. Now, 42.3 cents has held so far, as we only came down to about 43 cents and a few fractional pennies, or a few fractional less than a penny. No FOMO said great TA last night. Bought 8,000 XRP at 8.24 AM over here in Europe at 40 cents. Great dollar cost average over the years. Excellent. Excellent. Although I don't know what 40 cents is over there. That might be equivalent to ours a little bit higher. But yeah, I'm glad that you were able to base it off the TA, because talked about last night that wasn't the drop that we were waiting for. And I said a lot of people were going to get tangled up there. I even got criticized a lot on YouTube. Like I said a couple days ago, when I put down that it was going to go down to near 42 or even 40 cents, but mainly 42.3 cent area. Brutal. I got crucified. Telling me I had a bearish overtone. I'm always negative. But furthermore, that it could never get below that 48 cent support. So I'm an idiot, basically. I'm not, like I always say, I'm not negative. I'm not being this person. I'm just giving you what the charts say. So sometimes, as some have told me in the comments, some people take the truth as like negativity because it goes against what they want to hear. You know, so I understand that. But with this place where we are at here is a place of positivity over negativity. We are not victims here. We are winners, which is why I come on so often. Because being a winner, you've got to have all the information from a news and charting perspective to make the proper decision. And now, speaking of the news, as we see the stock market is actually, or the Dow is absolutely getting hammered, right? Just hammered. And what you ended up seeing today was some capitulation out of gold and winning stocks, even in gold holdings in paper or silver. Some had to sell out to cover their margin calls in the stock market. It's that simple. A lot of money left commodities to cover margin calls. It's like a revolving door. It really, really is. So let's look at the two counterpoints. First, we're going to watch the fact that they're going to say that they don't need to cut rates, right? They're going to say, or it's unlikely. And then we're going to go to the other side of this. So basically you've got CNBC, or which one is this one? This is from CNBC. And the other one's from Bloomberg. So here are the contrasting stark differences. And make sure to hit that like button.
For saying there's a sense of mania, there is a sense of panic in terms of the growth confidence and the Fed being behind the curve. How manic a Monday is it for you?
Yes, look, it's as manic a Monday as they get. The last time I saw these type of moves, in dollar yen was pretty much in 2008. In terms of the speed and magnitude and breadth that we're seeing. So it's a manic Monday, no question about it. What we've seen certainly in dollar yen. I think last week was really interesting in the sense that with the BOJ obviously raising rates, engaging in aggressive sort of tapering of its QE program. But I think the fact that the BOJ said they were likely to raise rates again in the subsequent meetings pretty much indicates that the BOJ believes that sort of growth potential in Japan is probably a lot higher than many had anticipated before. And then obviously we've seen a very aggressive sort of rewind in carry trades, people getting out of long positions in Mex and Brazil and others. And likewise, you're seeing dollar yen pretty much fall like a stone. We've gone in the space of 2 weeks from 161 all the way down to sort of 142 as of this morning. So it's a very, very aggressive move, mainly short covering move. And I think if we look at sort of the broader dollar, really what we're starting to see, obviously dollar weakness against the safe haven currencies such as yen and the franc, we're now likely to see that sort of widen and broaden, and I think certainly we're likely to see the dollar weakening in a more directional manner against the likes of the euro, sterling, and so on. So it's really a case where we're seeing the first leg against safe haven currencies, and next against some of the other majors in G10, and thereafter we'll have to see what the Fed's doing.
Okay, let's just put a pause in there because there's a lot to unpack. Let's start with the narrative. The market is now vaulted from, on Friday morning when I started this show, I said there was a nano chance of an intra-Fed rate cut. Now, the last time we had an intra-Fed rate cut was in March. It was in the March 2020. It was in the eye of COVID. It was 150 basis points. Differentiate for me now between COVID 150 basis point cut in March 2020 and now the baying call for an intra-Fed cut, 60% probability. Do you agree that it could come, and if so, what size and scale?
Okay, do I agree whether it will come? I would say probably not. I think that it's unlikely in my view. What we're seeing at present is quite simply, it's not, what we're seeing in COVID. It's not a crisis. It's simply a business cycle, right? And I think the moves you've seen overnight in Japan likely exacerbated by very poor liquidity. Let's not forget that. And certainly if the Fed simply signals that it's likely to cut rates aggressively in the coming months, that should do the trick. They don't necessarily need to cut rates this week, as it were. So I'm not yet in the camp where we'll see an aggressive rate cut, inter-meeting cut. I think that would be really sending panic signals to the market.
And by the way, the first intra-Fed...
So that... Oh, hold on.
...cut in March 2020, Peter, invoked a drop of 3% in the S&P 500 and rates to go 1%. So it was a crisis response mechanism that we saw there. Okay, let's move it forward. So the Fed have got to jawbone the market to create the floor, as it were. I haven't seen, if you think about dollar yen, it was parabolic on the way up, Peter, wasn't it, in terms of the dollar's ascent? Here it is, it's almost like a bottomless pit at the moment. And I want to clarify from you, if you say leg one is short covering, do we go towards a capitulation move of where we trade through? The next leg is to trade through the 140 level and over 142.40 at the moment. So is the next leg, if we are genuinely in a growth slowdown phase, a business cycle growth slowdown phase, do we continue to buy yen, or is the alternative to buy Swiss and perhaps do some more unwinding of the carry?
I think it's likely, yeah. I think we'll go through once, getting a move below 140 is definitely feasible. I mean, if we look at dollar yen, a fair value in dollar yen, probably closer.
Okay, so you get the idea there. But now, for anybody who's left 105 quite a bit, listen to the stark difference now on what you're hearing on CNBC.
We've talked about quite a bit. It was down in the low teens, up 26 points a day. It been over 50 at one point, 49.80, and earlier, Tom Lee said when we see the VIX peak and maybe come down a little, that could indicate some type of bottoming. Joining us now is Jeremy Siegel, Professor Emeritus of Finance at University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School of Business, Chief Economist at Wisdom Tree. Jeremy, I hate, you probably aren't happy to say I told you so either, given what we're witnessing. But you thought the Fed was staying at, once again, for the second time, staying at the party too long and too restrictive.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, this may surprise me. I'm calling for a 75 basis point emergency cut in the Fed funds rate with another 75 basis point cut indicated for next month at the September.
And why do we listen to this guy? Well, we just missed, where did it say?
Meeting.
But he's a professor in finance, so.
That's minimum. The Fed funds rate right now should be somewhere between, 3.5% and 4%. Let me give you very simple logic of my position here. At the June meeting, the Fed has said that the long run Fed funds rate, when inflation reached 2% and unemployment has come up to 4.2%, should be 2.8. That's the normal. 2.8 is the normal Fed funds rate. Well, on Friday, we blew it across the employment number. We're at 4.3. That even argues for a lower one. Now, as far as inflation, we're at 2.5%. We've gone down 90% towards the target on the inflation rate. We've overshot the target on the employment. Those are the two targets explicitly mentioned by the Federal Reserve. All right, and how much have we moved the Fed funds rate? 0. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
So, I mean, that's your contrasting differences right now. Contrasting differences. And then the only other thing of relevance that I would like to read about is the fact that XRP's trading volume, I always like to see the trading volume. When we had a spike, we can talk about some crypto liquidations as they hit $1 billion. So XRP records 223% spike in volume as crypto liquidations hit $1 billion. So 1.13 billion liquidated across crypto markets in the last 24 hours amid major sell-offs. XRP, the 7th largest cryptocurrency, has experienced a substantial increase in trading volume, rising by 223% amid a broader cryptocurrency sell-off. Cryptocurrencies reeled from a bout of risk aversion in the global markets on Monday. The broader cryptocurrency market has been hit hard, with liquidations surpassing 1 billion. Liquidations occur when leveraged positions are forcibly closed due to margin calls, often resulting in sharp price movements. In the last 24 hours, 1.13 billion were liquidated across the crypto market, with 693 billion in bullish crypto positions liquidated, according to CoinGlass data indicating that leveraged bets are becoming unsustainable. According to CoinMarketCap data, XRP has seen a 223% surge in trading volumes over the past 24 hours, amounting to $3.6 billion. The 223% rise in volumes reflects a significant uptick in trading activity, suggesting that investors are capitalizing on the volatile price movements. The substantial increase in XRP trading volume might also suggest that traders may be taking advantage of price swings to execute short-term trades. Also, speculative interest in news-driven trading could be attributing to the heightened activity. The XRP price has been under selling pressure, falling for 5 days in a row after reaching highs of 65.9 cents on July 31st. Subsequently, we've dropped about 34% since then. This continuous sell-off has pushed XRP to levels that have compelled the market to pay attention. As you can see, at the time of writing, XRP was down 16.7% in the last 24 hours at 45.2 cents. At last time we seen it was about 47.8 cents and was down 26.3% for the week. If XRP ends lower today, it will be down for the 6th day in a row, which seems pretty certain that that's going to happen. Today's sell-off was the greatest, with XRP plunging to a low of 43.6 cents last seen in early July. On the upside, a decisive break above the daily moving averages of 50 and 200 at 52 and 54.3 respectively could signal a bullish comeback. Meanwhile, XRP could see a relief rally as bears take a breather. If the decline continues, the next major support levels for XRP are 40.3 and 38.7 cents, where the price rallied sharply in early July. So, it's always good to know the trading volume and how much is coming in, how much is going out. Like I said, just continuously will watch the markets. XRP right about 48 cents. And some are asking, is it going to go down or up? Is it going to go down or up? Well, in the short term, it's anybody's guess. Because what I look for is a nice pickup in volume. Well, on the rise up, the volume was clearly dropping off. On the breakdown, as we had a few 15-minute candles, the volume was actually increasing. So it does look like a short-term bull flag here. And if it plays out properly, we could get a retest up. And honestly, if it goes up from here and it plays off the small bull flag, we've got a very interesting level that would come into play at 53, which I think that was deleted on accident. Let's see if I got another one that replicates it. Okay, yeah, right here. 53.89 cents. So I did not delete it. I was just on the wrong chart. But 53.8 cents. Let's get rid of this. 53.8 cents. If we come into the most current, a retest around 53.8 cents though, would be the next target. If this plays bullish, and this is actually a bull flag that doesn't implode on us like they've been across the board, seemingly. If this plays true, it should come up and retest that 53.8 area, approximately. So that's what I'd be looking for. And if you're asking me if it's bearish or bullish, first step would be to get above 50 cents and ultimately get above 53.8. And then to get back on the bullish thesis, you've got to be over the 2018 resistance. And current times will be at about 58.1 cents. So, and then if you can get above there, there's still higher targets. But we've put ourselves back in an area of concern. By being below the 2018 resistance, by being below 50 cents, especially there as well, we've got some big resistance in front of us now. 50-cent resistance. We've got another resistance. And I know everybody says 52, but I'm looking at that 53.8 cent resistance. Then we've got 58.1. And then over the top, you've got about 70 cents once you get up there. But you've also got 64.5, which is the cup and handle resistance. So there's a lot of things that are playing against us right now. It's not like it's just going to be easy to retake everything we've lost. We've got that 60.8 cents, which is the rising channel resistance. We've got 64.3 cents, which is the cup and handle downtrending resistance to get out of the handle consolidation. We've held the handle support at 42.3 cents so far today. So that's one of the good things about today, that we didn't give that back. Does look like a possible W reversal here. So if we play off of this, I think it's pretty firm that we would come to 53.8 cents if this plays bullish. But, you know, most people are going to have that concern, and for good reason. So sometimes, like I say, it takes testicular fortitude to buy into the market when it's already had such a sudden drop. Bitcoin at 53K. I think we touched base on this very nicely. Bitcoin loses 52,000. 653. We can come down to 48,284. We almost came all the way down there this morning. We created what looks like possibly, I mean, to the untrained eye, if this plays out truthfully, it could be trying to put in a, unless it's a fake out, the first start of it, like an inverse head and shoulders, inverse left arm, inverse head area, inverse right arm if it comes in. So technically it could be building, maybe a reversal to come back up here. If I was a bet man, 58K if this holds. 58K if this holds. Now, if we break below 52,650, we got a problem. Just understand that. We got a problem. Might even be a little bit lower now in the new time. 52,700. So we don't want to come below that. How do we see what futures contracts are open? As far as what? Futures contracts and what? I don't know what you mean. You mean future contracts as far as trading in XRP? Like the total amount? I'd have to do some research into sentiment. Could do some research into sentiment. XRP healthcare is down 2.3%. I think it fared very well for the drop that we've had. Honestly, it fared pretty well. Came back to the outstretched support. We talked about it over here before. Down a little bit farther is down at 262. It did bounce off of what could have been a new support structure. And now we'll see if it can bounce out. But obviously, XRP goes down. We're going to get everything in the ecosystem is going to go down. And right now, this is a firm look at what we're looking at. So the question is, can we finally break bullish Or are we going to continue on our way? That's where it actually meets, right here. So that's what it's looking like right now. We got that resistance. We got a support from earlier on that actually cuts through. So if we break through this, then we get interesting. Then you'd have to come back down to approximately 2159, and then you might have to come all the way to 158. But it does have a big descending consolidation here. So these are tricky, though, because the market has imploded so much that if these end up riding in these little formation resistance, we could get stuck in here all the way down to like 2-3 even. XDC came down a big amount, 11% or so. Where's this at? XDC 2.37 cents, down 12.3%. That's why everybody needs to pay attention. That's the overwhelming buy or sell line. If it comes below 2.8 and you were holding it, no reason to hold it. I tried to show that many, many times. And once you get below that pivot point, it becomes a problem. And now the problem is, even if we come back up and we have a nice little spike, if we get rejected at 253, it's still very bearish. Like, a lot of this is still very bearish until we get over these short-term targets. XRP short-term, 50 cents and 53.8, I believe it was. We're nowhere near either of those to get over. If this bull flag plays out, we could push that 53.8 area. But right now, we're painfully low. We're painfully below where we want to be. So, but how long have we been on here? We've been on for 41 minutes so far. And I think I've honestly went through every little thing I wanted to go through. And, you know, my voice gets a little tired every now and then. So, but if you're looking to trade XRP, USA or abroad, look in the video description below. There's HOTCOIN and BITUNIX. Can't go wrong with either. So you make your own educated and informed decision, which one you like better. You can copy trade me on HOTCOIN. We have a $100 challenge that's up $133 right now if you've been in every trade. Other than that, if you want to send a YouTube super chat or join Tom's Army, you can find ways to do that in the video description below, or YouTube super chat you have to do, you know, obviously while I'm live or on a video. And then all I ask is you make sure to hit that like button, share this on social media. It really does help me push my content. We still have a couple more minutes here to just look through and see what's going on. XRP volume today's at 608.519 million. The previous close was at 52.26 cents yesterday. The open was at 52.26. We've had a day's range between 43.16 and 52.56 cents. Jan, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XP589 Moon Badge. Yes, hit that like button. U.S. airbase under attack in Iraq. Uh-oh. A quick XRP recap. Right now we have over-the-top resistance at 50 and 53.8 cents. We need to get over that psychological zone at 50. If we break down, our targets underneath would be 40.8 cents if we continue breaking down. That would be your first near support. We've got a target underneath as well. If we break that we've got 42.9 and 40.6. But we've also got that falling channel support at 34.6. And then we got a technical target that drops us down to 28.5 from a formation that's already been lost. So keep that in mind. So could we retest that 2017 uptrend down at 28 cents or 26 cents? We could. That's just right down here if we lose 40.8. So make sure we pay all attention to this. And some of the breaking news here today, as someone said in the comments, is the U.S. airbase was attacked in Iraq. So we're going to propel, unfortunately, World War III in a direction we probably don't want to go in. Well, I want to go to the Fear and Greed Index real quick, and then we'll take a look at that news that was just put in the comments. Fear and Greed Index. Today, the Fear and Greed Index in crypto is at 26, extreme fear. Well, not extreme, but it's heavily fear now. Last week, we were in greed at 74. Yesterday, we were at 34. Now it's at 26. So we've gone into the greed big time. I still go on Telegram. I read what everybody says. And then if somebody directs a question at me, I'll comment. Slowly but surely, I do more and more on there. We have a nice group that's on there that talks every now and then, but it's definitely not what it was when we had the people that decided to ruin it. But it's still there, and I make improvements to it, and eventually, one day I would like to see it go back to where it was. And then let's just see what was going on with the airbase news in Iraq, just so we can be on the same page. After all, we do cover everything. Crypto, commodities. We have to see the world news just so we know exactly what to expect. U.S. airbase strike in Iraq. Rockets fired at Iraq's airbase housing U.S. forces. Oh, well, that's not great. And this was put out by Reuters. So rockets fired at Iraq's AIN al-Assad airbase housing U.S. forces, security sources say. So two rockets on Monday were fired at Iraq's Ain Assad airbase, which hosts U.S. and other international forces in western Iraq, security sources say. It was not clear if the attack caused any casualties or damage inside the base. The sources said one security source said the rockets fell inside the base. So that's just the sources. So that's what they're saying. So that's what somebody was talking about in the comments. So yeah, any kind of speculation or any kind of negative press like this can absolutely start pushing this this conflict worse. And I live in the USA, but I'm not a dummy. The U.S. perpetuates war so that they can print as much money as possible. It doesn't matter about you and I, and I'm not going to keep talking about it because I don't want to get banned. So the U.S. forces have previously been targeted in the region, including 3 U.S. service members killed and at least 25 wounded in a drone attack output in Jordan, New Syrian border in January, yada, 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 yada. So that's what's going on. So rockets were fired at a air base in Iraq that's housing U.S. forces. So with the unfolding disdain going worldwide, and with the ever-increasing revolution and intensifying things that are starting to go on here, oh man. Sean, your powder is dry. Yep, I don't blame you. A lot of dry powder here as well. A lot of dry powder. But there's a lot of conflicting things that are starting to take place here. If we get an emergency Fed rate cut, gold's going to probably jump off a cliff. I mean, not jump off a cliff, but go through the stratosphere. It held a critical support structure here. I'm just not seeing enough volume. I mean, look at the volume. The more this price goes up for gold, the less volume's coming in. This almost looks like a reversal coming in a very short amount of time. I don't think we're done yet. I don't think we're done yet. I don't think we're done yet. And I could honestly see a scenario where gold comes down here at 2,228. Just put it out there, like I've said before, in your radar. I can also see a scenario where B2 Gold follows that and comes down here to $2.33. And I don't think it would be that difficult if we do pull down in gold. So we'll see what these conflicts have in store for us. We'll see what happens in the precious metals markets. But there's opportunity that's setting up out the wazoo right now. Out the wazoo. The Gatman, I will absolutely try to come on later. I will absolutely try to come on for the evening live around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to end this one here, but I will absolutely try to come on. Well, actually, I'm not going to end it just yet. A few more minutes. But I'm going to try to come on later. It's just, I've been doing a lot of work on here, as you all know. And then having the 3 kids at home and just my son's PT and doctors and all this stuff with his YouTube. It just, sometimes it gets a little draining. But I've definitely been putting in that effort here. Yeah, I always put in the effort, but a little more opportunity here. With all the opportunity, might you do a copy trade? That depends. Depends. That has to be a momentary instinct when something hits in my favor. Maybe. There's the possibility. But I've already had 2 copy trades on this current routine. Nothing but this recent drop from late last night into early AM because I was sleeping. But there's always the opportunity that I might do something. But like I say, you know, that's a big risk on your part to take if you're going to copy somebody else as well. So I'll do my best. But until that opportunity arises, I don't know, to be honest. So we'll just have to see, John. But when I do, you know, I'll talk about it and whether in passing or at least talk about the what ended up happening. But I don't like to talk about it universally because I just like to trade how I trade. And if something good happens, it happens. If something bad happens, obviously we have to be a part of that as well. So, but yeah, in time, something's gonna hit my radar where I'm gonna be like, oh, this is what I want to do. But remember, I only do $100 at a time. So if you're putting in 1,000 or 5,000, or somebody's putting in, who knows, $50, it's all gonna look different than mine. Yesterday when I did it with Ethereum, had to do a couple, and it ended up being like almost, what was it, like 200 and something dollars in it, almost $200 by the end of it, because I bought it, it went down, consolidated the middle, you know, for the price to come into the middle, and then sold it, and it was up about 4.8. Not what I was looking for, but when it had that initial drop, you know, you got to weigh the risk reward. But I honestly don't know. I don't know when the next leverage trade is going to be. It has to be the perfect opportunity. And it will probably be because of liquidity factors. It'll probably be anything with Bitcoin or Ethereum from now on because their liquidity pools are the strongest. So less of a hit. CZAM, $5.89 says just showing support in the down times, Tom. I really appreciate that. Wow, I never expect to see a donation, especially when we're down like this. But it certainly does help. Certainly does help. What else? XRP Bitcoin pairing at the 900 level. I mean, I think we held remarkably well in the XRP Bitcoin pairing, but that's just me. If we get a rejection here with the death crosses in the 2 hour at like 891, that's where the pain starts here. We haven't seen any pain yet so far. I'm going to be honest with the XRP Bitcoin pairing because it hasn't folded yet. But if, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but be prepared. If we get a reject, let me get rid of this stuff because now this just looks like noise. He says, Tom, keep up the good TA. Thanks, Cezanne. I really appreciate that. Tom, you're always wrong about XRP. Well, that's your interpretation. My funds speak differently, and my track record proves you wrong, but that's okay. That means you're not paying attention to the overwhelming technical analysis I actually do, and you're looking at a short-term 30-second clip. But either way, you are entitled to your own opinion. You're entitled to your own opinion. XRP with the XRP Bitcoin pairing. Imagine doing everything I do for free and being as on as I am, and then you get comments like that all the time. Love it. Let's see. 768, if we fall out of this consolidation, would be the technical move. Now, on the brighter side, let's just say that was the drop down to the support. And now we could break up based on the formation if we were to have that kind of trajectory. Let's see. Whoops. Look what I just did. I just deleted it. I got to redo it. Clone. Let's see. That gets us to... This is less likely to get back up to the 1116. That's less likely at this point. Whoops. If I'm just being honest, it's less likely. Even though we came to support, we would need to break back up and through this 994 level. That's a pretty big push up. But we could be starting a W reversal here, so it's not over yet. We're still within the support structure. It's easy to feel negative when the market is bleeding. You have to look at the... Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Syrian, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for your second month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News, and also being a trusted mod. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. Yes, Jan, I agree. But you know, you get the decoys everywhere. It's okay. It's part of what I do. It's part of what I do. Oh, and Ethereum, while I still have your guys' attention. While I still have everybody's attention, Ethereum's at 2,401, down about 10%. I know that doesn't make any sense, but we speculated this morning that maybe it was starting that little reversal there. And then if it held the break back down, which it has so far, that it could start bouncing out, and we targeted up here around 2,800. That's the liquidity zone. That's a fair value gap up there that we marked before the last drop. And right now, it's tricky right now because they do look like small bull flags if they play out. But we've been fooled by the bull flag in crypto many times as to where the bull flag ends up being the sell signal, and then it just comes through. So if this plays out properly, we should be able to come up here around 2680, 2700. If it doesn't, we're going to end up retesting ourselves down a little bit lower. And if this breaks through, we had a technical drop target, and this is what I've been continuing to tell everybody. Whether it plays out or not, I don't know. But the technical drop from that consolidation and that pattern, if you just measure it out, was down to 1,683. So are we ready to move up, or are we in no man's land? I can't answer that right now. I am not a financial advisor either, so it's that's up to each and every one of you. You know, you got to make that educated and informed decision. All I can do is show my charts and tell you what I'm doing. Where to catch the knife, or the almost like an armor piercing knife? That's the question. And right now, a lot of people would say, "Oh, this looks like the right time, Tom. Look at, we're oversold." I see that, but I also understand the technical drop down here on more than just this, on more than just Ethereum or Bitcoin, but we also have the likely retest areas, and that's what we're trying to do today. The problem is, like with XRP, it came up to that 50 cents. It's consolidated a little bit, or close to it, but we need to push bullish off of these bull flags. Otherwise, those bull flags are going to bring you down to session lows again if they work out in the bottom fashion. If they start to break down, I'm trying to say here. So, but with that, I'm gonna exit this. I'm gonna exit this right now while I'm in a good mindset. I appreciate everybody who's tuned in during this live. I appreciate the positivity over negativity. And remember, the love will always push out the hate, and you need a little bit of darkness to show you how real the light is. To see you, how the love, you know, when you use that love and the inclusiveness and the, you know, we want to help, not hurt. We want to put positivity out there, not negativity. We want to make sure that everybody has the intel, not the FUD. It goes a long way. So thank you all, and hopefully I'll see you back this evening.